Alrighty, so in my last video, the update, I mentioned that I was going to go ahead and do a shop tour video. So, I'll go ahead and start taking you around the shop, see what's going on in the new place. It is an actual garage rather than a basement. So, let's go around and start over by the front door, I guess. That's kind of the trash corner right now. There's like 6 barrels over there of crushed aluminum cans that I need to take over to scrap. That 55-gallon drum is just packed with trash, empty cardboard boxes packed with trash. I've just been cleaning up, sorting, organizing. It's been a mess. There is that drill press we were working on before. Kind of hard to see. I need to get that light moved up higher like that one so it illuminates more instead of just illuminating the bandsaw and table saw. Over here, got my battery chargers, extra blade for the bandsaw, drill press, belt sander. That bench grinder's not actually set up, it's just sitting there so it's out of my way. That has kind of been just a dirty table. It's a nice, surprisingly nice workbench. Is like a $90 thing from Harbor Freight. But got some measuring tools. Got drills and accessories for the drill press. Here's my metal pile. Got plenty of steel to mess with in the forge or make stands out of. Do actually have some knife steel up here. Couple billets at 1095, I believe it was. I did already make one knife. That was covered in the first return update video I made that will probably never see the light of day. I don't currently have the knife in my possession anymore, though. I gave it to my brother-in-law as a Christmas gift. So, shop door for getting large things in and out of. It's kind of nice. Here's an old whiteboard from where I work. They decided they didn't like the feedback they were getting and wanted to throw the board away. So I have a whiteboard on wheels now. Over here, it looks like I've got a really impressive air system going. It's really not. That's the only one that actually works down there. It is really solid. It's a really, really great air compressor. Little 3-horse, 8-gallon tank. I think, no, that's not 8 gallons. I don't remember how big that is. Anyways, it works great. I don't have any problems out of it. It was my grandfather's. I recently acquired a lot of his old stuff. This one right here belongs to the landlord, and it doesn't work. It just takes up space. That one back there, you notice the motor's ripped apart. The motor is completely seized up. It will not turn. Compressor side still seems to be good, though. Still seems to be making compression when I spin the wheel. So I just need to get that motor replaced. But for right now, it's just an extra auxiliary tank that I can hook that guy into, have a little extra air. This is strictly an auxiliary tank. It has no compressor or motor or anything. And this up here is just a box of random stuff. There's some gunpowder and I believe that was a cheap old lift kit for leaf springs. That's black powder rifle accessories. This bench belongs to the landlord. It is not mine, so I've gotten it cleaned off, and I'm really hoping to move it out of here or buy it so that I don't have to worry about it being his or mine. Over here is another workbench I recently acquired from my grandfather's stuff. And so is this one. That one is a beast. That is about 1/2-inch steel plate on the top. And, well, it looks like the whole base is plywood. It's all 2-inch by 2-inch square tubing and 2-inch angle iron. I do have a second cheapy Harbor Freight welder down there, gasless flux core. My main one's over there. All three of these benches I've recently acquired. They came from my grandfather's stuff. One of my old toolboxes. Here's, there's some random crap. Blu-ray sound, or Bluetooth soundbar, for some music in the shop. This is pretty special to me. This was my toolbox at work for about a year and a half when I was just a line technician. I got promoted up, moved into maintenance for facilities maintenance, and they gave me a much bigger box. And around the same time, they decided to sell off some of the old boxes, so I bought my old box. So that's kind of special to me. I've got my old box. It's a great little toolbox. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Got a nice wood top on it. Got a decent little bench vise mounted to the front of it. I really can't complain about it at all. They just decided they wanted to phase out the old boxes and get some new ones so that everyone had the same box. And that was kind of a mess. But I got my box, so I'm not really bitching. And I got a new maintenance box, so I wasn't included in that. That's another one I got from the auction. Picked it up for like $10. So really can't complain too much. It's kind of beat up, but the drawer detents still work. I just got a messed up little shelf drawer there, but can't complain too much. There's one of my old boxes, might recognize from the basement. That was my old work box from my previous job. And that one I had to buy myself. But, so I still have that one. Another basement box. Cabinets up there. Wheelbarrow. Kind of in my way. Got to go back around. Here's a slightly better look at the forge. I've got this little shelf I made here for a sitting brick to close off the back of it, hold the heat in a little bit better. It's not particularly big, and I messed up on a lot of things just because I had no idea what I was doing at the time. I did use the refractory board for the top, but I used hard brick in the bottom and the sides, so this thing holds heat like a mother. Which, on one hand, isn't terrible, but it's it radiates a lot of heat out the sides, and it stays hot for a really long time. I really need to get some soft bricks for the side, or more refractory board for the sides, one or the other, and kind of redo that. I don't really have anything securing the top down other than just the weight of these broken bricks. The burner, it's okay. It was a cheap little stainless steel I found on eBay. It's not bad. It does the job. I'm not a huge fan of the choke, and I really, really hate that gap in the sleeve right there. It lets you, if you look at it while it's lit, you can see the fire. It radiates a lot of heat back up the shaft, and I really don't like that. I need to find a way to seal that off, put an intermediate sleeve in there or something to tighten it up a bit, but for now it is what it is. It works. Let's go back around here. This is not the anvil I've been using. It's one that a friend recently gave me. He found it in a pile and grabbed it for me. It's actually kind of neat. It used to have a vise that went on this side. It was kind of really weird design, really overcomplicated. Everything I've been able to find just says they were patented in 1914, but that seems to be the only information that anyone has on him. Nice little mill vise. It actually does angles. You can kick it up so you can mill at an angle if you can't tilt your head. That's kind of nice. That box over there, the red and the big gray one, are incredibly important to me. Those were my grandfather's toolboxes from when he worked for GM. You can see here, they gave him a nice little nameplate riveted to his box. I just have a Dymo sticker on mine that has my name on it. So, kind of an example of the times, I guess. But it is really neat. That green box there was completely custom made and welded to the side of it. The gray box on that side, I'm not sure if it was originally part of it or not. It is the same collar though, so maybe. It's hard to tell. He might have just had that added on at a later date. I really don't know a whole lot about it. I never got a chance to talk to him about it. But that red box up there, just an extra box that he had on top of it. I guess it doesn't necessarily go with it because it's significantly smaller and color doesn't match, but it is a great box, and everything still works on it. The drawers slide in and out nice and smooth. I still have the key for it. There's a lot of history in there, in both of them. And eventually I will make another video covering just that box and some other stuff in there. There's a little tractor that I got. It came with my grandfather's stuff. I think it just needs the carburetors rebuilt, but it's a nice little Sears tractor. It's got a plow attachment, and I got a mower deck attachment for it too, so it's kind of handy. This is one of the projects I had intended to get some video on, but it was a mad thrash getting this bike done. I had about 2 weeks before this bike show I was supposed to go to with some friends, and I just slammed every day. I'd get off work at 7 in the morning, I'd work till about 2 in the afternoon, and then I'd go home and crash. And I got it done in time, and then we got rained out. It stormed all day. Unfortunately, it did not storm where the show was, so it wasn't canceled, it wasn't rescheduled. So I will make a more in-depth video eventually covering what all I did to it. Once I get an editing set up, I'll put up some pictures of the progress I made on it, what it originally looked like, some of the steps I went through, some of the parts I put on. I did at least take some picture documentation as I went through. I just didn't make any videos. I didn't have the time. Really wish I had. It is what it is. There's the anvil I've been using. I know many people aren't too fond of it. This isn't how I've been using. I've been having it chained up to some cinder blocks to keep it weighted down. I can't really drill into the floor here, and I need to leave the floor space mostly open so that I can bring cars in here when I need to. But it was, $50 at Harbor Freight. Got me started. I'm not entirely sure why it's wet. That's interesting. But, it is what it is. It does a decent job. I was specifically looking for a softer anvil to start with, just so I didn't have to worry about it chipping and, issues with like that and messing up an actual nice anvil. So eventually I will get a better anvil, but that's kind of getting it done for now. There's an old box I found. It's currently serving as my quench tank, as it's got these nice locks on it, so I can keep it, make sure it's sealed. I can make sure it doesn't, if it falls, it shouldn't spill any oil anywhere. I haven't tested that theory, but should be okay. There's a radial arm saw back there. I absolutely love that, but it doesn't belong to me. I can't remember if that belonged to the landlord or my other grandfather. My grandfather on my mother's side used to work out of this shop before he passed away. I'm not sure if that was his or the landlord's. Most of the tools I've been talking about that I said came from my grandfather, that came from my grandfather on my father's side. He passed away quite a while ago, but I'll get into that more later. That's not really important right now. There is also a bandsaw. Once again, I don't know if that was my grandfather's or the landlord's. And there's a table saw that I'm just strictly using as a table at this point, and also don't know if that was the landlord's or my grandfather's. If any of these are the landlord's, I'm trying to purchase those along with that workbench and air compressor just so I can know for sure what all belongs to me, know that everything in here belongs to me, and I don't have to worry about any sort of disputes over what's mine and what's his. Because he's a little bit older and a little bit harder remembering, so I don't really want to have to deal with that fight if it ever comes up. There's some random old Hot Wheels and model cars and stuff. Eventually I'll get them a shelf somewhere set up in here and put them all up. Wood chipper, shop vac, and engine hoist. That pretty much takes us around the whole shop. I mean, it's a decent little space. It's a lot better than the basement. I really need to get that wall all sorted out, figure out what's going on with all that, get some of that moved out of here, and figure out where the hell I'm putting these two. Oh, there's a generator hiding down there too. So yeah, just a little tour of the shop, kind of give you an idea of some of the stuff I've been up to since I haven't been posting videos. I've just been crazy busy getting all this stuff taken care of and getting stuff organized and straightened out, and moving into a new shop location does take some time. And yeah, that's about it for the general tour. Like I said, I'll do some specialized videos with the toolbox and the bike and the forge and stuff, and whenever I get a little bit more time and I get things straightened up a little bit more. So there's going to be 2 videos coming out this week. The update, reintroduction kind of thing. Just saying where I've been, what I've been up to. And then this one, just the general shop tour. After this, I'm going to try to shoot for at least 1 video a week. And we'll see where that goes. Hopefully I stick to it. I really plan to. I really didn't plan to take all this time off for making videos. It's been a really hectic couple of months. And yeah, it just kind of fell to the side. It wasn't that important at the time compared to what else was going on. So, yeah, if you're even moderately interested in anything that I say I'm going to do or that I'm currently doing, go ahead and subscribe. Yeah, just hope someone sees this and people start watching.